Hello everyone and welcome. This is Alex, the architect for beforeSave, and in today's episode of our Parse Crash Course, we're going to keep talking about cloud code functions, specifically about triggers. Triggers are essentially pieces of code that gets run every time a condition is met on the database. And today we're going to talk about beforeSave and afterSave triggers, which, as the name implies, are codes that run before saving a new object to the database and after saving a new object to the database. So here I have my person class and I have a property called age, and I'm going to create a cloud code with a beforeSave trigger that verifies if a person is over 18, and if it's not, it won't be saved. So this is a very good way to verify that data before actually writing it to the database. So if I go back to my code, the way we create a beforeSave trigger is parse.cloud.beforeSave. Then we pass the class we're going to run this code for, in this case person, and we're going to get the request for saving that person and arrow function it to this, and everything that I write in here will be run every time I try to save a new person, but before actually writing it to the database. So as I'm going to check if the new person is over 18, what I'm going to do is if request.object.get age, because age is the property we're looking for. If it's under 18, I'm going to throw an error saying you cannot save ages under 18. And now I'm going back to my console and type before a deploy so I can upload that code. And now that it's uploaded, I always like to go back to Safari and check Cloud Code functions in my main.js and see if my code is really there. So I have my beforeSave for person. And now back to my Visual Studio. I have some code here saving a new person called William, which is 17 years old. And I'm going to try to save it, and if it cannot be saved, it will catch an exception and print the error message. So if I go back to my console and type node index.js, you see I cannot save William with 17 because my code does not allow it, and my error message I defined on the cloud code showed here. But if I change 17 to 21 and save it, try to run it again, you'll see William got saved. So if I go back to database and person, and here we go, William with a 21 as age. This also works for afterSave. AfterSave is the same principle, but it will run after the person object gets written to the database. So the way we define a afterSave is parse.cloud.afterSave, and the rest of the code is pretty much the same, so I'm just copying it, and I'm going to change the inside of the function a little bit. What I'm going to do is every time I save a new person, after the person is saved to the database, I'm going to write a default address for that person. So in order to do that, we're going to do let address equals parse.object.extend, and we're extending the address class. Then we will instantiate a new address, so let address equals new address. and set a few properties. So I'm going to set address.set, and I'm going to give a street name with the same name of the person and the street word added to it. So street name, and I have to get the person name from the request object, so request.object.get, and I'm looking for the name, and I'm adding a space and street to it. So if I create a new person called, let's say, Mary, and it will write as a street name Mary Street. And let's get a address.set number as, let's say, 10, and let's set the street owner. So address.set owner, and since I'm saving a person and I'm setting a person as the owner, I can just get the request.object. And after all this, we can return the address.save. Now, if I go back to my terminal and type beforeDeploy, it will upload my new code. If I go to Safari and Cloud Code Functions, main.js, my afterSave is there. So if I go back to Visual Studio and try to save, let's say, Mary, and Mary is 22 years old. And now if I go to terminal and type node index.js, it will save a Mary here on the persons. So I have Mary here with 22 years old, but if I go to address, I'll have Mary Street with number 10 as we defined. And it actually saved on Anwar because I mistyped the owner, but you got the way it works. So I hope you liked this video and hope to see you on the next episode where we'll keep looking into triggers. Hope you enjoyed and see you soon. Bye bye.